Racial Equality Officer, and she's here to tell us a bit about her role at NRSC and what she does. So Julie, I know you do a lot of work to SLAs. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, that's exactly what I do, Malika. And we have 3 substantive SLAs that I work to. Those are with Norwich and Wayland Prison and also with NHS Norfolk. And they form, I would say, 60% of my work time. We do obviously have contractual agreements with all the district councils in Norfolk, County Council and City Council, which obviously your work includes supporting them around community cohesion and community engagement, but also I work to their equalities teams, their planning departments, and again it's about the primary role to ensure compliance under all equalities legislation. But the focus and the majority of my work is at the 2 prisons and also with NHS Norfolk.
So that's a lot of work.
It is, yes, but it's something that we have a history of through this organisation, and I'm actually into my 6th year of working in Wayland Prison and Norwich Prison. And through that time we have seen many changes, and this year has been no different. There have been some major changes that have impacted greatly on the work that I do in the prisons. Wayland Prison opened a new section of the prison which took their total of inmates up to 1,000. They also closed their vulnerable prisoner unit because we opened a new prison in Culdershaw called the Bure, where all vulnerable prisoners will be. They now have a dedicated lifer unit, and a lifer unit in itself needs to be very sensitively ran because you're dealing with prisoners who are there for a long term. Norwich, again, monumental changes in the process and the work of the establishment. They have taken the decision to integrate young offenders into the adult prison. Norwich has also seen the opening of a brand new wing because there was the need to close the Victorian A wing. So they have a brand new A wing which is very high tech, very focused on prisoners who have dependencies upon drugs or alcohol, and therefore there's treatment involved. So we've worked through that with the prisons, and we're focused very much on the movement from the different equalities legislations to the single equalities. We've done a lot of work around equalities impact assessments, which have, and it's, you know, just as senior and responsible managers have got used to doing race equality impact assessments, we've now opened it up and it's equalities impact assessments. So my work has increased in both our jails. We've been successful in the fact that they have noted the work that we've done before now. They've asked us to increase the work and the responsibilities that I take on, so therefore the financial input to the NNREC has increased, but by the same time it means you see less of me because I'm out of the office more. But I am still there.
Can you tell us a bit about Race for Health?
We are involved in Race for Health through our SLA with NHS Norfolk, and NHS Norfolk made the decision to become involved with Race for Health. Race for Health is government funded through the Department of Health, and the purpose of it is to facilitate almost like a think tank, a proactive piece of work that any NHS trust or PCT can sign up to. They make pledges to Race for Health, and Race for Health its mission statement is to improve access to healthcare for members of black and minority ethnic communities. And NHS Norfolk are committed to their work, and as they are a commissioning body, i.e. they buy in services which are then delivered to us as members of Norfolk society, they want to be sure that their services that they are buying in, their service providers are compliant with public duty, and that they are offering services that are fair and equitable, that are accessible to all and appropriate to all. Now that's not, when we talk about accessibility to services, I do believe that many people think that we're talking about, have they got a ramp? If I'm in a wheelchair, will I be able to get? And it's not about that. It's about, is the venue for a certain service suitable for all people? Our meetings, our services, our surgeries available at the right times? we don't want meetings and a particular service for a particular health need only to be provided on a Friday afternoon, which would clearly exclude members of the Muslim community because it's not an appropriate time. These are all the things that they are looking at and asking trusts to make pledges about how they will ensure that their services are appropriate, that are equitable, and that they are delivering the need. Because what we do know from research, and the part of the research that we are going to be involved in the future with Race for Health, is looking at the different health needs of our different ethnic minorities. And we know that Bangladeshi children, only 40% of Bangladeshi children have access to a dentist, whereas within the rest of society it's 90%. There's a huge disproportionality. The number of African and Caribbean men and men from southern India who have diabetes is 70% greater than the rest of our county, if you like. So it's no good saying, yes, we offer the same services to all. Certain sectors of our community need specific services or more frequent services. So Race for Health is looking at, and it's working to ensure that they are compliant with the legislation. The legislation is the primary reason for it. So it fits in perfectly with my work because obviously my role is to ensure that people comply with legislation.
So just to make it clear, if I was a victim of hate crime, what would I do?
First of all, if you were the victim of hate crime, the first thing I would always want you to do is phone the police and report it to the police. If you were, let's say, a victim near your home and you were able to recognise the perpetrator of this, and that perpetrator was a tenant of Norwich City Council, the police would notify Norwich City Council of that. If maybe you didn't have English as a first language, or you weren't comfortable going to the police, there are many voluntary sector organisations and community groups who are now signatories to this. You might want to go and see them, and they have access to the reporting forms. They can take the report from you, maybe in an environment that you're comfortable with. If you're very IT literate, you can go online and do it yourself. But it doesn't matter how you do it, what avenue you use to report it. It's reported, it's logged. As Macpherson has said, if you perceive it to be racist, it will be recorded as a racist incident, and if it can be crimed and evidenced, prosecutions will take place. But if the perpetrator is a tenant of Norwich City Council, Norwich City Council also have the power through their tenancy enforcement, and actions would be taken against that person because they're jeopardising their contract with the council. It's a powerful tool and it empowers the victims. You might not go to court because obviously only the police and CPS can decide whether it's an incident or a crime, but you will have a voice and your voice will be heard.
Wow, so Julie, you're doing a lot of really good positive work, and the main thing is that you're enjoying it and you're still with us to help us in achieving our goals, so brilliant.
Yes, I'm still here, and of course you now are part of the Community Cohesion Network.
I know.
So
Start going to the next meeting.
Yes, over to you now.
Thank you.